When it comes to event planning, weddings are by far one of the most detail-oriented experiences that you will likely have in your lifetime.
And of course, the big day will be cherished. It'll be remembered for years to come. And while trends come and go, it always pays to, browse around, see what you like, what catches your eye. Today, we're looking ahead to what is trending in 2023. Matthew Trettel from The Wedding Guys with us this morning to tell us everything we need to know. And I must point out the obvious here. Alex and I also seem to match the table setting and the set.
Yes, we love this kind of retro,
you guys are just on trend.
mid-century.
We know that already.
I guess. Yeah, we're really in touch with each other. All right, well, let's start off. This is the trend in decor. What is it?
Yeah, so this is really kind of a retro inspired design. We're seeing it a lot in home interiors right now, and it's translating really quickly into weddings. So graphic patterns have been really big the last couple of seasons, and now we're going into this kind of more mid-century modern look, which is really fantastic. And it's really fun because you have the juxtaposition of lots of different textures, which is really fun.
That pops out.
And so it's really great to be able to mix and match too. So we've brought a really beautiful metal placemat, but thinking of doing something that's maybe a little bit more organic as well. So again, one of the things that we're seeing is people are investing in floral, but they're doing it in a different way. Maybe it might be a large floral installation on a ceiling, big impact pieces. And so we're showing some options to do centerpieces that aren't floral, so you can invest in a larger statement somewhere else in the wedding with the floral.
Yeah,
fascinating.
I can absolutely see that.
Look, it's interesting.
Yeah, I like it. And then you got the little votives, and then kind of add a little bit of a a vibe.
Warmth.
Yeah, a little warmth.
And my favorite is these velvet napkins. Just feel how nice that is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, the velvet's everywhere right now.
So what's fun is the beginning of every year we publish our new Wedding Trends lookbook, and it's at the press right now. So it's coming out the very beginning of January, and we'll feature all the trends that we're seeing in pop culture that are easily translated into weddings.
Okay. How about the colors? And these are not typical wedding colors.
No, actually, wedding colors have really shifted. Muted colors and oranges. Orange is going to be a really popular color next year. Although Pantone color of the year just announced, and it's Viva Magenta, and so we're going bright too. So we're going to see more pops of color again, which is fun. I think we're ready to kind of embrace the next normal, and people are ready to celebrate in a different way.
It seemed like the last couple of years it was more kind of metallics and softer and maybe an elegance. So now we're seeing some pops of color and earthy tones.
And we're seeing some really great looks. One of the really hot trends right now is called dark academia, and the photo on the right-hand side indicates something that's a little bit more moody, which is really fun. And then we talked a little bit about floral installations, and look at how amazing what you could do for a head table. Guests would walk in and be just awe-inspired.
That is beautiful. I sometimes struggle with floral things in the middle of a table when you can't see the people across from you anymore. So it's interesting to raise it up, and it's no longer obscuring your vision of who's sitting with you.
All right, let's talk about food trends. So you've got a nice place setting here, a beautiful centerpiece. It's a little unusual, but what are people looking at as far as feeding their guests?
It's really interesting because food trends are really changing, and they're changing quickly, and people are looking outside of what is traditional, particularly in weddings, but we're seeing it in fine dining too. So lots of flavors that are coming from abroad. So South American flavors, African flavors, which is really fun, and unique fruits that we've never heard of have become really popular as well. We have some really great photos here. Pasta dishes are becoming really popular, but thinking about kind of alternatives. So this is gnocchi with Peruvian potato, so it's got a purple color to it.
Wow.
Again, everything's about being Instagrammable too. Like,
of course.
Everybody wants to, people are spending money on their weddings and they want to show it off.
Sure. Are you starting to see people just try to do more like food trucks and kind of like?
That's a really popular trend, especially for the outdoor weddings, and we saw that obviously during COVID really take off, where people were really social distancing. We're coming back to more of a formal concept because people, I think, are gravitating to some of those traditional customs kind of on the backswing of COVID.
Yeah. Getting dressed up again, getting out of our sweats and getting dressed up. We couldn't help but mention, of course, the beautiful dress that to me has like, a 20s Art Deco feeling to it. Is this something that we're going to see more of?
So you definitely are, and this is something that you're going to see on the Unveiled runway next week as well. So we're super excited. This is a beautiful dress by Eva Milady from Mesteds, which is one of our fashion show partners. Definitely that Art Deco kind of Great Gatsby look is really popular right now, and it's about that opulence. It's the roaring 20s, but it's the 2020s, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so we love the flare skirt on that, which is really great, and just the sparkle that's in that skirt is really fun too, where you have a lot of bling on the bodice and through the hips, and then just a little sparkle around the rest of the train.
I mean, the bride is always eye-catching, but in this one, you really couldn't look away.
It's a
and
stunner.
I even think it's even prettier in person than on camera,
Yeah.
because you're not getting kind of all that sparkle and shine that we're seeing in person. So that's a stunner.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, fun. Well, we're just getting started. We have a lot more talk about weddings to come. After the break, we're going to talk about advice when it comes to booking vendors. Plus, if you have wedding ideas, there's one-stop shop coming to town in the Twin Cities. He just kind of mentioned that, but we'll have details on where you can find inspiration next on Good Day.
We'll be right back.
This is Fox 9 Good Day.
Well, 2022 is called the year of the wedding. COVID cancellations meant many couples who wanted to get married in 2020 and 2021, they pushed things back to this year.
So what will 2023 bring? We are back with Matthew Trettel from the Wedding Guys, here to get us up to speed. Okay, first up, let's talk about vendors and venues. I know this was a real struggle because, again, everyone was trying to rebook. Where are we at now?
You know, we've had kind of a reset because now there's an expectation that you have to book early. And so we have a lot of couples that are in 2024, even 2025, if you can imagine, that are booking based on the scarcity of options in 2020, 2021, 2022. And so it's been interesting because vendors are booking faster than they did pre-pandemic. Because of that, people want to make sure that they have exactly what they want because they know that their friends had to go without, and so yeah, there's definitely a push to book vendors early.
Okay, so since there is a push, but what would you say is how far in advance should couples, let's say they get engaged, this week? How far in advance should they start making these decisions and trying to find, for instance, a venue?
So generally, once you get engaged, select your venue because it's going to dictate everything else.
True.
And so depends on how long you want to wait for the wedding. But generally, I say go start interviewing venues right away to just kind of see availability specifically for the ones that you're looking at, because it may shift when your wedding is actually going to happen if you're really set on a specific venue. And couples really like unique venues now. And so there is a limited supply. And so typically you want to have at least more than a year in general. We're looking at more like 18 months right now.
Wow. Okay, a lot of planning, a lot of time to plan.
Well, weddings are so much more detailed than they used to be,
Sure.
and so you really need that extra time to think about all of the details, the food, how you want your stationery, what you're going to do for your installation.
Speaking of installations, I feel like this fits right with that. We were talking earlier about how people are hiring content creators for their weddings, and it's sometimes foregoing videographers or photographers for this. Are you seeing this yet here?
You know, it's so interesting how social has really changed the landscape of weddings. People want to be able to share their wedding with everybody, not only just their friends and family now. And so, yeah, it is interesting that there has been a shift towards, making that a specific budget element. I don't think traditional photography or video is going to go anywhere, but I think this is an ancillary add-on to be able to kind of enhance the exposure of the day.
All right, so let's talk about maybe finding some wedding inspiration. The Unveiled Wedding Show, that's coming up in just about 10 days, and that's at the Renaissance Minneapolis Hotel. So what are people going to find, couples, when they go there and they look at, there's going to be so much to choose from.
Many options. That's what's great about Unveiled, is the fact that it's the premier event in the market for wedding shopping. And it's really meant to inspire and give couples an opportunity to see all of the different things that are available. A lot of times couples get engaged and they have no idea all of the different options. They've been to their friends' weddings, but when you start kind of fielding through everything you can do now, and figuring out what is really the elements that are going to speak to your story. I think that's what the shows really help with, because you're able to talk one-on-one with the vendors. Couples are busy right now, and the shows make it really convenient for them to be able to connect directly with the vendors. I think that's the number one piece of why the shows exist. But then beyond that, there's all of these inspiration galleries. So the tabletop that we talked about earlier will be part of what we call our Trend Wedding Experience. So couples come through and they actually see an immersive wedding ceremony and reception all set up for them. And then in addition to that, we have our fashion show, which is a huge part of the inspiration. And being able to see the dresses on models on a runway, you can really see the detail of all the latest fashions. And so we curate the fashions, and we have 4 amazing salons that are on the runway, including Ivory Bridal Co., Anna Bay Bridal, Mested's Bridal Salon, and Grace Loves Lace. So really great diversity of dresses and just really different looks.
Can you try cake?
Yes, that's the best part. So post-COVID, all of our tasting options have come back. So we have an area called the Sweets Emporium. And so you walk into this beautiful vignette of pastry chefs. You can get your samples, sit down and enjoy. We also have our tasting bars. We do the same thing with caterers. So we're really exciting. This will be the first unveiled show where we're able to reopen those things post-COVID. So the tasting is one of the best parts of the show.
All right.
So grab a glass of champagne at the bar and then enjoy your eats and cakes and
Fun.
It sounds fun, even if you're not planning a wedding.
100%.
Sure, let's go.
Absolutely. Matthew Trettel, as always, we appreciate you being
Thank you,
here.
Matthew.
From the Wedding Guys. If you're looking for wedding inspiration, check out the Unveiled Wedding Show. So it is taking place January 8th at the Renaissance Minneapolis Hotel from noon to 4. For tickets, just head to theweddingguys.com.